Hey everybody, Chris Desano here, Rhode Island Insider, and happy to be joined by 6'3", 185 pounds sophomore, redshirt sophomore guard, Jalen Carey. Jalen, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking some time. We obviously want to make sure that Rhode Island fans, there's a lot of newcomers to the program, a lot of talented newcomers, you being one of them, and want to make sure that we give fans an opportunity to get to know you personally and as a player as well. So I think a good place to start, just to backtrack for a minute, is, you transferred in from Syracuse. Every stop that we make in life, whether it's one that we end up staying at, fit-wise, or we move on, teaches us a little something. What did you learn most during your time at Cuse?
I think one thing I learned is just about who I am as a person and as a basketball player. I feel like I went through a lot of adversity there. Just transferring from high school to college. Being that guy in high school to just being something totally different in college. I think that's something that caught me a little off guard in terms of just growing and developing my game. So as I just grown there, as I've gotten older, I spent 2 years there, so I did a lot of time growing. And I actually had thumb surgery my sophomore year there, so I think that was my most productive year in terms of just learning, just learning from the coaches, learning from the players, and I feel like that helped my game a lot. And I just want to take everything I learned from them guys, and just bring it over here and mesh in what they're teaching me as well. So
nice. In terms of that initial year, you coming out highly touted from high school and just making that jump. What was it about that year that you felt was maybe the greatest learning or greatest challenge that you had to overcome? You were healthy that year, but just challenge-wise. You had a couple of big-time games early. I think you scored 26 against Connecticut. You had a real big game against Oregon as well early on. But what were some of the challenges that year?
One thing was just staying mentally prepared, staying mentally focused. Like you said in the beginning, I had those good couple games. Once my playing time started to diminish, sometimes that might affect the player. And, sometimes it did get to me, because wondering why you're not on the court. You're seeing yourself put the work in. You feel like you should be on the court. So. But I feel like all of those things are just learning experiences, like I said in the beginning. Just all of those things help me to become who I am today, help me mature, and just help me become a better player.
Yep. Ultimately, there'll be a springboard for you for sure.
So,
in terms of the thumb injury year, and you just teased it a little bit, but how did observing in practice, huddles, games help your overall understanding as you're now back on the floor and parlaying all that knowledge?
When you out like that, you able to see things from coaches' perspectives, and when you're in the game, and you wondering why a coach is yelling at you, you could see it from his perspective when you on that sideline, and you able to see things from his eyes. So I think that's one thing I was able to pick up, just be able to just see the game from different views, be able to see the game from on and off the court. So I feel like that's one thing I really like. I flourished in.
As far as the game and your game particularly, can you describe it for fans just to give folks a feel?
I love Russell Westbrook. I love the way he plays, the type of energy he plays with, the speed he has, the aggressiveness he has. So I try my best to model my game after him. He does it all. He rebounds it, he scores it, he passes it, he defends. So that's the type of guy I am. I'm a motor guy. I want to be a leader and just want to be able to just come in and do whatever I can to help the team win. That's my main goal.
You just crushed two of my questions in one answer because it was that good an answer. But I'm going to ask him anyway, and we'll see if we can get a little more out of you.
Gotcha.
The first one is you already led into it with Westbrook, right? So he's a guy that you pattern your game after. Who else do you maybe look to pattern your game after? And then I got a question that's going to feed off Westbrook a little bit, but let's go with this one first. Any other guards that you really look at?
Watching Damian Lillard as well, just seeing how he's able to just shoot the ball, he's able to put pressure on the defense, and he's just unguardable. There's no way where you can guard him. So just when I'm in the gym, sometimes I'm shooting from 2 steps over half court. It's just mental things, just sometimes you never know when you're gonna have to take those shots in the game. So just always being ready.
And you alluded to this because obviously Westbrook is a guy that does everything. But one of the things that you did when you got heavier minutes was you really rebound the ball very well from the guard spot. Is rebounding something that you've always prided yourself on from that? And how have you learned to just anticipate and be sneaky on that end to grab boards? Because you're not a small guy, but you're not 6'11".
Rebounding, one thing I like about rebounding is you don't have to worry about the big outlet to you. You could just get it and go. So
Yep.
That's one of the main things I like about rebounding, just be able to get it and just put that pressure on the defense. And that's something what Westbrook does.
Yeah.
That's why he's so good at what he does, because he's able to get it off the defensive glass and just put pressure on the defense. So that's one thing I try to do. And just making my job easier for my big men as well. They're not the only ones big men are not just allowed to get rebounds. Guards can get rebounds.
Fair.
Anybody can get in there and get rebounds. So
absolutely.
I don't try to limit myself to anything. I try to do any and everything that's possible.
No, it makes sense. Team mentality, and like you said, it skips a step, right? If you can get that ball and go and put pressure on D.
Yes, sir.
Especially in that transition conversion stage where they're trying to transition mark man and line up. Let's shift a little bit to you arriving at Rhode Island. What was it that made you comfortable, along with a highly talented group of transfers and newcomers? What was it for you that just, clicked and said, this is the place, man, this is where I want to go?
I felt the relationship, it was real hard for me. I felt like, at Syracuse, it was really tough, and that's one of the reasons why I transferred. But I just felt I felt the relationship here, and when I spoke with the coaches, I knew some of the guys, just from AAU, just being around the game of basketball. So, just when I got here, I felt like I fit in, just speaking with Coach Cox on the daily, speaking with Austin and all of the coaches staff, they just made me feel very comfortable. And they wanted me to come in and play my game. They didn't want me to come in and worry about anything. They didn't want me to look over my shoulder. They wanted me to come in and beat Jalen Carey. That's one thing that stood out to me.
Nice. Just play loose and
yes, sir.
And you stay whatever's comfortable for you. I do want to go back to that for a minute, because you made express mention of it, that it was a no-brainer to play for a black coach like Coach Cox. And we know what's going on in this day and age and in society, and how important it is to be open-minded, and to have that type of mentality. How much stronger did that make the connection for you, and how much more did it make it a no-brainer for you?
I definitely felt that connection very much stronger, because it's, just with everything that's going on, he's somebody that can understand it, because he lives in my skin. He's able to. He's experienced things that I've probably done experience as well. So just be able to we just able to talk. Each day we watch film, we always go over some black history and stuff like that. So just be able to have that connection from a coach is just that's very impactful.
That's great. Makes the mentorship and, like you said, relationship just that much more impactful, and it's only going to get more impactful as you move forward. As far as some of the other guys, if we just sort of stick with this relationships theme for a minute, did you know any of the other guys here, or even maybe new guys that you have just met for the first time? Are there guys that you've really clicked with and you feel like you guys are becoming a cohesive unit?
I feel like I clicked with all the guys. I knew the twins from AAU. I played against them a couple times. I knew Allen from AAU. I played against him a couple times, but. No, I knew all these guys from some way, somehow. If I knew them from Instagram, or I'd seen them. I don't watch a couple Rhode Island games. So before I came here, I definitely watched a couple games before I decided to commit. So I just like to see how guys are, and these guys are real cordial. These guys are real cool. They brought me in with welcoming arms. So I have no complaints.
That's great. What did you like about when you were watching Rhode Island games? What attracted you to the style? Just that. These guys want to get up and down as well, and Coach Cox gives these guys the freedom to, like you said, sort of play in their own skin, be who they are.
One thing I noticed when I watch the games is how free and loose the guys play.
Yep.
And, not a lot of guys when they take shots. There's a lot of teams and a lot of coaches out there when guys take shots, their players look over their shoulders. Their players look over the shoulder, and they're wondering if they're gonna come out if they miss the shot. So. That's one thing I really look for. I really look for when I was choosing my next school, and when I was watching the games, I noticed how freely the guys play. If a guy make a mistake, they just get in the back and they're trying to make it up instead of pouting and worrying about they're gonna come out. So I just all of those little things I look for when I
you're right, that the trust and the confidence that you build, and that results as a result of that confidence and freedom that they place in you. That's huge for a player, just go out there and play like that. We're going to wrap it with a couple, but I was figuring out which way I was going to do these. Let's do this one first, which is hot off the presses. We just found out 10, 15, 20 minutes before we're talking here that your waiver was granted by the NCAA. Just describe what's going through your mind.
That's the best news I got since I've been here. That's my best day that I had since I've been at Rhode Island.
That's awesome. And that's what I mean. What does it feel like to you right now? How do you feel?
It's just a dream come true because I didn't play for 2 years. I'm going to just say that as that. I played a couple games my first year as a freshman, but, once tournament play started, I didn't play as much. So I wouldn't even count that year as me playing. So, and then my second year, I had my thumb injury. So I just felt like I just been in a cage. I just been locked up for so long. I'm waiting. I'm finally unleashed. They just unleashed the monster. So now I can't wait. I just can't wait to get on the court, just play with these guys. I know Fats is a great player. I know you wanted to talk about him. So
yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Perfect segue. Now you're going to be on the court with him.
Yeah, no, just being able to be on the court with him. Two dynamic guys that's able to play in transition, that's able to put a lot of pressure on the defense, and wants to help their team win. I feel like we're gonna be a tough backcourt. We got a lot of other guys. We got Shep. Hopefully AB is able to play. I don't know if he's gonna be eligible or not, but we got a lot of guys. We got Trez, Malik. We got so many guards that's just able to so interchangeable. So I can't wait. I just can't wait and see how the season goes.
Well, got a couple of you just mentioned Trez and obviously Ish. Got a couple of really talented freshman guards, and then you've got the two veteran leaders in Fats, of course, and Jeremy Shepard as well. When you think about, let's just for purposes of example, when you think about you, Jeremy Shepard, and Fats being on the floor potentially at the same time, how can you complement them? How can they complement you? Can you talk about that?
I feel like some of how I haven't played a real life game yet, but just you're seeing it in practice and seeing how good those guys are, how good they are at the dribble, how they can shoot it, how they just make each other better, make the players around them better. It reminds me somewhat of UConn, how they used to play three guards, mm-hmm. and how they used to just be all interchangeable. And I feel like we could do somewhat of the same.
Nice. What are your I think a great place to wrap it is just your individual goals. I mean, and I know you're probably still processing everything, right? You've been eligible for all of an hour that you've probably known that for, but just your individual goals and team goals this year, now that you get the chance to, like you said, just sink your teeth into it and get back out there.
One individual goal I just have is just go out and play freely, and don't worry about anything. That's one thing I don't want to do. Just don't worry about anything. And as a team goal, I want to win the A10 championship. That's the main goal. And once we go there, we're gonna get our bid to the tournament. We're gonna take things from there. Every team wants to win a national championship, but we gotta start with our conference first and take it from there.
Thank you so much for taking a few minutes. Obviously, huge congratulations to you on the waiver being granted. I know you're excited to get out there on the floor. Rhode Island fans are excited to see you, and just really appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.